Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be I let my boyfriend cut my hair. Well, that being said, it doesn't have to be your boyfriend. It could be a girlfriend, it could be your spouse, it could be mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, anyone that you're quarantining with right now in today's crazy world. Hopefully everybody is staying safe and healthy. So I basically want to go with what you need a little bit. You think you're going to need about 4 clips. Four is ideal. If you have 2, that'll do, but 4 is going to be ideal. You're going to need a comb, and you're going to need regular cutting shears. Okay? And you go grab the ones that you're not supposed to cut with. Alright, so these are a big no-no. Just a couple of reasons I'm going to give you. One of them is kitchen scissors tend to be kind of hard, not really smooth in the opening and closing. So let me tell you, you're going to be partially through the haircut and your fingers are going to be really tired. So that's number 1. Number 2, which I think is the most important, is these are not designed to cut hair in a clean cut manner. So all these are gonna do, they're gonna cut the hair, don't get me wrong, but what they're gonna do basically is they're gonna chew on the hair. And it's gonna leave your ends probably not in the best shape. So you'll probably notice that maybe even after a couple of weeks after you got it cut with these kitchen scissors, is that the ends are probably gonna start looking, split or just not good. So do us both a favor, please get rid of the shears and buy yourself a pair of cutting shears. You can get them on Amazon or Sally's.com or something like that. It may take a couple of days to get them or a few days, but trust me, your hair will thank you. So let's just get rid of those, right? Alright guys, so without further delay, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start by sectioning the hair right in the middle, and we're going to take that part all the way to the back of the neck, splitting the hair right in the center. Draw it all the way down to the neck and split the hair. Go ahead and clip the one side and clip the other side. Now you have the hair split in 2. And now we're going to go ahead and start on the one side. At the top of the head, right where the comb starts to come off the head is where you're going to part, right there. Right when the comb starts to get off the scalp. Take that straight down. I would go right behind the ear. Not too much, just a little bit, just like that. Same thing for the other side. Go ahead and go down just behind the ear, clip the back, and clip the other side. So now in the back here, we're going to cut in 2 different sections. We're just going to always keep them separate, and we're going to do a horizontal line. You want to take just enough hair where you don't have to cut a bunch of hair, but it's going to be easy to cut through the scissors. So I would say about an inch or 2 of hair. If it's too much hair, then take a little bit less and clip the rest out of the way. Alright, so it's going to be, now we're going to be working in a horizontal line. I like to start cutting, typically right in the center, and work my way to the edges. And guys, making sure that you keep the hair in the back that you're cutting. You want to keep it behind the shoulders. And you're basically just using the existing line that you cut, the original line, and that's going to be your guide. So this horizontal line right now is going to act as your guide for the rest of the hair. And we're basically going to do that all the way to the top, cutting from the center out to the edges, and making sure that the hair is always pulled back behind the shoulders. next session. You guys will probably have, maybe 2 to 3 sections. Some people that have really thick hair, you might have 4 or 5 sections. You just want to have enough hair that you can cut easily through. You don't want to have a big bulk of hair trying to cut through all that. So it's always the less hair, the better. Right, just take your time and use the underneath guideline to keep your hair straight. You pinch each side every once in a while to make sure that both edges are the same length. Then the top section here, you want to make sure, again, you don't want to go to the side of the shoulder. You want to go behind the shoulder, okay? Just bring everything down and just take out whatever little hairs are left. At this point, if you have some layers, you shouldn't have too much hair hanging down. Make sure there. See how I comb it behind the shoulder? Take out whatever little left is left. All right, now we're moving to the side. Take the clip out, and we're going to go about halfway on the side of the hair. We want enough hair to be able to see a line at the very bottom. And we are going to connect the side line to the back line to get the length that we want. And we're going to cut with the comb. We're not going to pull. We're going to cut with the thicker pieces, tooth combs, and not with the thin combs. This will put too much tension on the hair. So with the larger comb, it will have less tension. Right here, you're going to get the piece from the back, and you're going to comb straight down with no tension. Get that as the guide, the back as the guide, and you're basically just going to cut. This is going to be very loose tension. This is not tight because you don't want the side hair to perk up after you let it go if it's too tight. So this is why we just use the comb. We don't want to put any Okay, so here we're doing the same thing. Just make sure you don't comb the hair too forward. You want to keep it behind the eye. So as you can see, I comb the hair down. I cut there. And then the rest of the hair, I make sure that I cut around the eye. Same thing on the other side. We're going to go about halfway up. You're going to use the guide from the back, a little piece of hair, to determine your length. Same thing again. We're going to cut only with the comb, the wide tooth of the comb. And we're basically just going to use the guide from the back and cut forward. Great. Alright, so now we're just going to do a little bit of a check. We're just going to basically see if we're on the same page, both sides are matching. And so once they are, you'll get to know whether at this point you want to cut a little bit more or if you want to leave the next section a little longer. Alright. So basically, I just taking all of the hair all the way back, comb everything, all the sides, everything straight back, and just make sure that you don't have any little long pieces of hair. Okay, in this section, so now we're going to do about 2 inches back, or just right at the top of the ear is where you want to part it, from the top all the way to the side. You're going to do this on both sides. And we're basically going to comb that kind of forward, but really just laying down like this Just we want to make sure that both sides are even, and we just cut a little bit of the corners out that might be a little bit long. You don't want to cut too much, just a little bit. Alright, now that we've got all the bottom cut, we are going to do a little bit of layering. At this point, you can opt to either finish the haircut as it is, or and in this case, we're just going to add a little bit of layers, not too much. So we want to grab a little bit higher, like right at the hairline on the top. Take that section out and clip it out of the way. And we're going to do the same thing on top, right at the hairline. Because you want to have enough hair where you don't cut any layers at the bottom and you don't want to lose any length at the bottom of the hair. So you want your length to stay the same. Clip the bottom part out of the way, that way you don't get any hairs. As you can see there, it's almost to the top. And we're just basically going to take about a 2-inch section from side to side on the top. Just go from side to side, and we're going to elevate all of that hair straight to the top, all the way. And here you're just going to be taking the corners and the top. So make sure that that's your length at the bottom. So you don't want to go shorter than that. So you're basically just going to be taking whatever hair is in the center, forming either a peak or just a little bit excess hair. Just make sure that you're not going any shorter than the hairs that are on each side of the section. So again, if you're unsure, always cut a little bit at a time. You could always come back and do it again. Alright, the next section we're going to do another couple of inches, and that should take care of the top part of the hair. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take all that hair and elevate it straight up. I'll show you here on the side. That's the back section. See, it's about a couple of inches thick. And we're going to do, again, the same thing. We're elevating everything to the top. Straight up. I'll show you here. See, you're just going to take off all those little edges that are left, but still maintaining the length on each side. And just cut whatever little ends are left out. This is just going to be enough to give you a little movement throughout the hair, just so your hair doesn't fall completely flat and you have a little bit more of volume. So now we're just going to go just beneath the crown in a rounded circular shape, and we're going to take all of that straight up again. This is just below the crown line, and we're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to take, see, all those little extra ends. And make sure that the length on the edges, you don't go shorter than those. So I always personally like to point cut because point cutting makes everything softer. And in this case, we don't want any harsh lines when the hair falls down and it's laying in its natural state. So point cutting is always the best way to go in this case. Alright, so now we've completed the cut. And I am going to show you what it looks like after I blow dried it and curled it. As you can see there, a little bit of the layers there. Very nice. And here's the final look, curled and blow dried. I basically just curled it all the way around in vertical sections and combed it out with a brush, a wide tooth brush or a comb. And as you can see here, very nice long layers, just enough to give you some shape and body. I think she looks great. What do you guys think? Thumbs up for everybody, I think. Alright guys, we are finished with our lovely model here. Just to let you guys know, don't forget that this tutorial is definitely a more basic cut for you guys. This is made mostly just to tie you over until you can get to your salon safely and let your hairstylist give you a true professional haircut. They'll be able to give you more shaping. If they need to take some bulk out, they can do that. They can give you more layers also. So this is just to tie you over until you can get to your stylist. This way your end will be in nice shape. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the like button if you don't mind, and leave me a comment on what you thought about it. So as always, I look forward to next week to see you, and we will see you then. Have an awesome weekend, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe.